Hello. I was going to do a little follow-up video on my last one regarding Naomi Klein. Trouble is, I have lost my notes now regarding this interview on my hard drive. I couldn't remember what I entitled this my notes, and so they're all gone, and I can't find them for now. And I don't want to quote Naomi Klein or anyone else out of context. So I'll bring up another subject in the meantime for now, and that is what is essentially starting to trouble me is not so much what we're hearing once again on the mainstream news. That is always troubling and should be taken with a grain of salt. But what is probably of more concern to me at this point is what we're not hearing at all. In absolute, I wouldn't call it absolute, but there is a sort of media blackout or complete disinterest in some things that are happening right around us in neighboring countries like Mexico and Canada. Now, some of us have been concerned regarding the NAFTA trade agreements, renegotiation of NAFTA, and so on. And in the mainstream media now, there is some news coming out regarding this drug war going on in Mexico. Now, I would like to ask some of my viewers to enlighten me, especially if they're familiar with the situation in Mexico, as to what is really going on down there, because I simply can't imagine that it's just a turf war between various factions and drug lords in that country. There's got to be something else behind it. I haven't figured out what it is, but usually when we're talking about the drug trade in general, usually that drug trade is financing something else, and it's not just about money. It's usually about political power and various factions, competing with each other. So I'd like someone, as particularly from Mexico, perhaps, to enlighten me as to what is going on. Most of us probably don't even know who the president, the president of Mexico is, the premier of Mexico, or of Canada, for that matter. And why is there nothing in the news ever about these subjects on the mainstream news? Why not? These are our neighbors. Why shouldn't we be informed about all of this? But we're all being kept in the dark, and so unless you do your own research, you wouldn't even know what is even remotely happening both in Canada or Mexico. And I'm guilty of this as well, because it takes a lot of Canada is a bit easier to research because at least Canadians, some of them speak English and some of them speak French. That's great, I personally don't speak Spanish, so that hinders me greatly in my research, because I can't really read the original sources. And but I'd like someone to help me out with this in order to point towards credible sources for this kind of information, because it's being totally ignored. So that's some of the stuff that's bothering me tonight, because I think, especially with our economic picture now, I think that is important, something important to know about. I'm always leery about stuff that I have no information about at all, and so I think we should pay a bit more attention to what's actually going on around us. So thanks for listening, and hopefully someone can enlighten me on some of the intrigues or perhaps some of the other motives as to what is actually happening. It's even very difficult to find anything on alternative websites regarding these subjects. So keep me enlightened, and please comment, because I'd like to delve into this kind of thing a little bit more if I can. Good night.